The village of Oakhaven lay nestled in a gentle valley, a collection of humble, timber-framed homes huddled beneath the ancient, whispering boughs of the Elderwood. Tonight, the sky above was a vast, inky canvas, dusted with an unimaginable scattering of stars, each one a tiny, distant jewel sparkling with cold, serene light. The air was cool and still, carrying the faint, sweet scent of wood smoke and damp earth, a comforting fragrance that settled deep within the lungs. No wind stirred the leaves, and the only sounds were the soft, rhythmic chirping of crickets and the distant, murmuring flow of the Willow Creek. Elara, a quiet soul with eyes that seemed to hold the reflected light of the night sky, sat by her window, gazing out at the familiar, peaceful scene. Her small cottage, like all the others, was built for warmth and comfort, its single lamp casting a soft, golden glow that barely disturbed the profound darkness outside. The villagers of Oakhaven were known for their gentle ways, their quiet lives tied to the rhythms of the land and the turning of the seasons. They were kind, industrious, and deeply connected to their traditions. Yet, for all their outward tranquility, Elara had always sensed a subtle, unspoken mystery about them, a quiet undercurrent that flowed beneath their calm demeanor. It wasn't a secret held in malice, but something more akin to a shared, gentle understanding, a collective dream they all seemed to inhabit. Tonight, under the vast, silent expanse of the star-dusted heavens, that feeling was particularly strong, a soft tug on her curiosity, inviting her to simply observe, to feel the quiet pulse of Oakhaven. The stars seemed to twinkle with a knowing silence, as if they too were guardians of this peaceful, unspoken truth. As the hours of the star-filled night deepened, a profound stillness settled over Oakhaven. The village lights, one by one, had extinguished, leaving only the soft, ambient glow of the moon, a sliver of silver light hanging low in the sky, and the countless, unwavering stars. Elara, still at her window, felt no urge to sleep. Instead, a quiet, contemplative energy held her, a gentle invitation to simply be with the night. The air grew cooler, crisp and clean, carrying the faintest scent of night-blooming jasmine from a nearby garden. She noticed a subtle pattern in the village's quietude. While outwardly asleep, there was a very faint, almost imperceptible hum that seemed to emanate from the very ground, a low, resonant vibration that was felt more than heard. It was akin to the deep, slow breath of the earth itself, a peaceful thrum that seemed to synchronize with her own heartbeat. This was the mystery, she realized, not in what they did, but in what they were. The villagers, in their quietude, were not merely sleeping. They were participating in something deeper, something ancient and intrinsically connected to the land. Her gaze drifted to the Elderwood, its vast, dark silhouette a comforting presence against the starry expanse. She remembered the old tales, whispered by grandmothers around crackling hearths, of the Elderwood being a living, breathing entity, a guardian of Oakhaven. Could the mystery be tied to the forest? The hum seemed to grow slightly stronger as her thoughts turned to the trees, a gentle affirmation. The stars above seemed to shimmer with a deeper knowing, their silent light pouring down like liquid peace, illuminating the path to understanding without words. Elara felt a gentle pull, not a demanding urge, but a soft invitation to step outside, to immerse herself fully in the quiet symphony of the star-filled night. She slipped from her cottage, her bare feet meeting the cool, dew-kissed grass, a sensation that was both grounding and refreshing. The air was crisp, pure, and filled with the subtle, sweet scent of night-blooming flowers that opened only under the moon and stars. The hum, which had been a faint tremor indoors, now enveloped her, a gentle, pervasive resonance that seemed to emanate from the very earth beneath her feet. She walked slowly, drawn not by a clear destination, but by the deepening of this resonant hum. It led her away from the sleeping homes, past the quiet, moonlit gardens, and towards the edge of the Elderwood. The trees, even in darkness, felt welcoming, their ancient presence a comforting embrace. The starlight, unhindered by clouds, pierced the upper canopy, creating shimmering patterns on the forest floor, illuminating patches of luminous moss that glowed with a faint, internal light. As she stepped beneath the first towering boughs, the hum intensified, becoming a soft, melodic vibration that seemed to sing through the very fibers of the wood. It was a soundless song, a frequency of profound peace. Here, the air was even cooler, imbued with the rich, damp scent of ancient earth and decaying leaves, a fragrance of timeless cycles. She noticed that the luminous moss was more abundant here, spreading like a soft, emerald carpet, and within its glow, she saw them, faint, shimmering threads of light, weaving through the air, connecting the roots of the trees to the very ground, and then subtly extending towards the village. These were not the vibrant wisps of the whisperwood, but something more delicate, more intrinsic, like the forest's own nervous system, humming with quiet life. The shimmering threads of light, almost invisible unless one looked with a quiet, open heart, pulsed gently, mirroring the deep, resonant hum that now filled the air within the Elderwood. They were like the veins of the forest, carrying not blood, but pure, tranquil energy. Alara followed their subtle glow, allowing them to guide her deeper into the ancient woods, her steps light and unhurried on the soft, mossy ground. The starlight above, filtered through the dense canopy, created a dappled, dreamlike illumination, turning the forest into a sanctuary of soft shadows and gentle glows. The air grew progressively cooler, a refreshing crispness that invigorated without disturbing the profound calm. The scent of damp earth and ancient wood deepened, becoming a rich, comforting aroma that promised timelessness and peace. She noticed that the hum was not just emanating from the ground, but also from the very trees themselves, a silent, collective song of profound stillness. It was a lullaby sung by the roots, carried by the sap, and exhaled by the leaves. The threads of light converged towards a central point, leading her to a small, hidden glade. Here, the trees formed a natural circle, their branches intertwining to create a living dome, open only to the direct, unwavering gaze of the stars. In the very center of this glade, nestled amongst the most luminous moss she had yet seen, was a pool of perfectly still water. It was not large, perhaps the size of a small hearth, but its surface was a flawless mirror, reflecting the countless stars above with breathtaking clarity. The shimmering threads of light, she realized, originated from beneath this pool, rising gently to weave through the forest. As she knelt by its edge, the hum intensified to a silent crescendo, vibrating through her very bones. The water was cool to the touch, yet it radiated a subtle, profound warmth that spread through her fingertips. And within its depths, she saw them, not reflections of the stars, but faint ethereal images of the villagers, each one sleeping peacefully in their beds, yet connected to the pool by their own shimmering threads of light, flowing from their hearts, through the earth, and into the water. This was the source of their mystery, the quiet truth of Oakhaven. The images in the still pool were not mere reflections. They were ethereal projections, vibrant with the gentle energy of the sleeping villagers. Each face was serene, bathed in a soft, inner light that mirrored the glow of the stars above. The shimmering threads, she now understood, were not just connecting them to the pool, but were conduits for a deep, restorative energy flowing from the Elderwood itself, through the pool, and into the hearts of Oakhaven's people. This was their secret, a nightly communion with the ancient forest, a gentle, unconscious ritual of renewal. The hum of the glade, now a pervasive, comforting presence, felt like the collective breath of the forest and its people, a slow, steady rhythm of profound peace. The air, cool and pure, carried the faint, sweet scent of the luminous moss and the deep, grounding aroma of the ancient earth. The stars above, reflected perfectly in the still water, seemed to lean closer, their silent gaze a testament to the quiet magic unfolding. There was no grand revelation, no dramatic climax, only a profound, gentle understanding that settled deep within Alara's heart. The mystery was not one of hidden danger or intrigue, but of quiet, enduring connection and profound, natural harmony. As she watched, the ethereal images in the pool began to soften, their edges blurring, becoming more translucent. The shimmering threads of light, though still present, pulsed with a more subdued glow, as if the nightly transfer of energy was reaching its peaceful conclusion. The hum of the glade, too, began to gently recede, becoming a fainter vibration, a soft whisper in the air. This was the natural ebb of their nightly ritual, a winding down as the deepest hours of the night began to give way to the first hints of dawn. A sense of deep contentment settled over Alara, a quiet satisfaction in having understood this beautiful, unspoken truth. The subtle fading of the ethereal images in the pool and the gentle lessening of the forest's hum signaled the nearing end of the nightly communion. The glade, though still bathed in starlight, felt as if it were preparing for a gentle shift, a quiet transition from the deep magic of night to the soft awakening of dawn. The air remained cool and pure, carrying the grounding scent of damp earth and the faint, sweet perfume of unseen night-blooming flowers. Alara felt a profound sense of peace settle over her, a quiet understanding that resonated deeply within her spirit. The mystery of Oakhaven was not a puzzle to be solved, but a beautiful truth to be embraced. The villagers were not merely sleeping. They were engaged in a continuous, gentle dance with the Elderwood, drawing sustenance and serenity from its ancient roots. This quiet connection explained their calm demeanor, their enduring resilience, and the pervasive sense of tranquility that always permeated Oakhaven. It was a harmony born of deep respect and symbiotic existence. As the stars began their slow, silent retreat, their brilliance softening at the edges of the sky, the pool's surface became entirely still once more, a perfect, dark mirror reflecting only the fading celestial tapestry. The shimmering threads of light, having completed their nightly task, gently receded back into the earth, becoming one with the silent pulse of the forest. The hum of the glade faded into an almost imperceptible whisper, a lingering echo of profound peace. The air grew even softer, imbued with a sense of quiet completion, a gentle sigh of contentment from the Elderwood. Alara felt no need to linger, only a quiet urge to return to her cottage, carrying this newfound understanding like a precious, comforting secret. Alara rose from the edge of the still pool, her movements unhurried, her heart filled with a quiet, profound sense of peace. The cool, damp earth beneath her bare feet felt like a final, grounding touch from the Elderwood. The glade, now devoid of the ethereal images and the strongest hum, remained a sanctuary of deep calm, its ancient trees standing as silent, benevolent guardians. The starlight, though still abundant, had taken on a softer, more diffused quality, hinting at the approaching dawn. She walked slowly back through the Elderwood, the path feeling familiar and welcoming, guided by the faint, residual glow of the luminous moss. The air was still crisp and pure, carrying the sweet, clean scent of the forest at rest. The quiet rustle of leaves, stirred by an almost imperceptible breeze, was the only sound, a gentle whisper that seemed to echo the peace she felt within. Every step felt lighter, as if the understanding she had gained had lifted a subtle weight from her spirit. As she emerged from the Elderwood and approached the edge of Oakhaven, the village remained cloaked in the deep, peaceful slumber of the night. The cottages were dark, their inhabitants still connected to the silent, restorative hum of the forest. The mystery was no longer a question, but a beautiful shared reality. The quiet strength and enduring calm of Oakhaven were not accidental. They were cultivated each night, nurtured by the ancient wisdom of the Elderwood. Alara felt a deep sense of belonging, a quiet joy in being part of this gentle, harmonious existence. The stars above, though beginning to fade as the first hint of pale light touched the eastern horizon, seemed to twinkle with a final, knowing approval. Alara stepped back into her cottage, the familiar warmth and quiet embracing her. The single lamp, left burning low, cast long, gentle shadows across the room. She moved to her window once more, gazing out at the village, now seen through the lens of her newfound understanding. The silence was no longer merely the absence of sound, but a vibrant, living presence, filled with the subtle, deep hum of the Elderwood's connection. The mystery of Oakhaven had been gently unveiled, not through grand discovery, but through quiet observation and an open heart. A profound sense of completion settled over her. There were no lingering questions, no unresolved tensions. The gentle intrigue had led to a beautiful, serene truth. The villagers of Oakhaven were not merely sleeping. They were engaged in a continuous, unconscious communion with the ancient forest, drawing deep, restorative peace from its very essence. This was the source of their quiet strength, their unwavering calm, and their profound harmony with the world around them. It was a perfect, symbiotic relationship, a gentle ebb and flow of energy that sustained their peaceful lives. The first faint blush of true dawn began to paint the eastern sky, a soft, pearlescent glow that slowly began to eclipse the last, lingering stars. The air grew softer, losing its deepest chill, and the scent of damp earth mingled with the fresh promise of a new day. A deep, peaceful sigh escaped Alara's lips, a sigh of utter contentment. The journey into the heart of Oakhaven's mystery had led her not to excitement, but to a profound, comforting stillness, a quiet realization that settled deep within her soul. The village, under the watchful gaze of the fading stars, remained a beacon of gentle, enduring peace. The soft, pearlescent glow of dawn spread gently across the sky, painting the eastern horizon in hues of rose and lavender, slowly diminishing the brilliance of the remaining stars. The air, now softened by the approaching day, carried the fresh scent of dew-kissed leaves and the faint, sweet promise of blossoms soon to open. A profound sense of tranquility settled over Alara, a quiet, pervasive calm that resonated with the very essence of Oakhaven. The mystery, now understood, had transformed into a comforting truth, a beautiful secret shared between the villagers and their ancient forest. She felt the lingering hum of the Elderwood, no longer a distinct vibration, but a subtle, pervasive warmth that permeated her being, a gentle echo of the night's profound connection. It was a feeling of being utterly grounded, yet effortlessly light, as if she too had drawn deep, restorative peace from the earth's quiet heart. The images of the sleeping villagers, seen in the pool, now seemed to merge with the peaceful stillness of the cottages outside her window, a testament to their shared, harmonious slumber. The last faint stars winked out, one by one, as the full, gentle light of dawn embraced Oakhaven. The world outside her window began to stir, not with hurried activity, but with the slow, unhurried awakening of nature. A lone bird offered a soft, tentative chirp, quickly joined by another, their gentle melodies weaving into the peaceful quiet. Alara's eyelids grew heavy, not from exhaustion, but from the profound, pervasive calm that now enveloped her. The journey into the heart of Oakhaven's quiet magic had reached its serene conclusion, leaving her with a sense of deep, abiding peace. Her thoughts, once curious and seeking, now drifted like soft clouds across a vast, clear sky, slowing, softening, until they too dissolved into the tranquil expanse of her mind. The gentle warmth from the Elderwood's connection spread through her limbs, easing every muscle, inviting a complete surrender to the profound stillness. The soft light of dawn, the quiet chirping of the birds, and the deep, abiding peace of Oakhaven formed a perfect, comforting cocoon. With a final, gentle breath, Alara allowed herself to drift, effortlessly, into the quiet, restorative embrace of slumber, her dreams filled with the gentle hum of the forest and the silent, knowing gaze of the stars, a peaceful continuation of Oakhaven's beautiful, unending harmony.